Back to the tip of the week. Today we're going to take a look at find and replace. So now that you know how to do the VLOOKUPs, you're probably going to run into a situation using a field such as social security number or something that's not in the format that you need in one version of a file versus another version of the file. So these are a bunch of fake social security numbers, and I am going to show you what you might be able to do if you, for instance, have one file that has with the dash and you have another file that has just the numbers. So how will you be able to compare the two without some sort of very complicated function to make that happen? So for that, we're going to look at find and replace. So we're going to select where we're trying to find, do Control F for find, and the normal thing that you're used to using is probably the find function. So what are you trying to find? And in this case we want to find those dashes because we want to get rid of them. We're going to replace it with, so replace it with nothing and just leave that box blank. Then when we do replace all, see Word's made 26 replacements. So rather than having to go through every single one of these, now we've been able to just wipe out that dash, and these are now all straight numbers and ready to be compared. So you might find another issue that you run into when looking at numbers. So you can obviously tell that this is not a number. It's got the quotations right here. You can see that this is a number, and then when you look at this here in cell A2, you might think that that's a number, but when you look at the formula, it's actually not. It has the quotation marks here, so you can see that it's formatted as a number, but I can't make it operate as a number. We can't increase the decimal places because it's really text. So there's a way to solve for this too using the same find and replace feature. So let's find those quotation marks. Let's replace those quotation marks with nothing. Now the reason this works in both here and here is because when you look at what this is actually doing, that by default you're telling it to search within the sheet, you're telling it to search by the rows, so that's the direction that it searches, and then what you're looking in. So it's looking in the formulas to try to find this little piece. So when I do that, replace all, it's made 6 replacements. So you see even within the formula it's been able to replace those quotation figures. So now I can make all of these numbers and have the ability to compare and do what I need to do with these now. So very useful function that is often overlooked, and it's a very simple and easy way that you can use to begin finding and replacing items. Obviously you can use it in Word, Access, any Microsoft Office suite product, you can use the find and replace feature in, and it's going to work the same way, and it's actually really powerful. One side note though is that you want to absolutely make sure that the thing that you're looking to find and replace, that you really do want to replace all of them. The function itself, the find and replace function, is just going to do what you tell it to do. So if you tell it to find and replace something, but you actually did have one instance of a quotation mark, for instance, that you wanted to keep, it's not going to know that, and it's just going to wipe it out. So you've got to be really careful, but understanding how this works and also being able to use it successfully. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again next week.